I've heard of that argument, and it's one of the things we don't speak about enough, that some of our favorite wealthy people might be just representatives of certain interests, whether it's a Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Johann Rupert, Nicky Oppenheimer. They might just be caretakers, like we accuse Obo Cyril of certain bigger interest groups.
Now, you have to understand that you're not the only people that are puzzled by this phenomenon. We've got Henry Ford, who was a multi-billionaire, the guy who created the first car, one of the richest Americans, and among the 5 titans that created the American economy, he's counted there. But even he commissioned a newspaper that he owned to write a book trying to explain the phenomenon of the international Jew. Because he was saying, good, yes, snemali, but that's not mali, because the money that I have to run this enterprise called Ford, the money that Carnegie has, the money that Vanderbilt has, at the end of the day, that money is still Jewish capital. So he wrote an entire book called The International Jew to try and understand why. Why are Jews so powerful? Why do they control governments? Why do they control nations? And why is it that every country that they leave, falls apart? He then goes on to talk about how it is that America itself was created by Jews who were chased away from Spain. Christopher Columbus was founded by Jews. Those Jews go and land in America. They create the tobacco industry, which then finances, what do we call it? Dutch-owned Peter Stuyvesant, who controls New York. That's the same pattern you see here. And these Dutch go hand in hand with that because they were good administrators and project managers. Even till today, when you go to the Netherlands, when you go to the Netherlands, I remember when I first went to the Netherlands, I went by train. Came from France into Belgium, and all of a sudden, I see everything changes. The train goes into a glass tunnel. The grounds, the fields they look like they're from a picture in a book. I'm like, what place is this?
The Netherlands is stunning.
And they said, this is the Netherlands.
Sure.
And I began to understand why the Dutch are what they are and why you guys have a problem with the Boers. They're organized. They're project managers. They get things done.
I wanted to say, sorry, when you speak about Jewish people being organized, that lawyers, accountants, very key, bankers, a lot of them around the world are Jewish people.
Exactly.
So they link it to education, that they value education, etc. So it was that. I wanted you to finish the count. Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Vanderbilt, J.D. Rockefeller. Is J.P. Morgan in there?
J.P. Morgan, yeah.
Okay, those are the 5 Americans that literally built America into what it became. Okay.
And J.P. Morgan was the major funder, and his funding came from the Rothschild. Like I told you, he went to school in America. The same thing happened here with Cecil John Rhodes. Cecil John Rhodes was given money. Bunny Bernardo was given money. Alfred Bate were given money. They became what they called the Randlords.
Sure.
Those Randlords began to control Kimberley. They began to control the gold in South Africa. And people say there was no mining of gold happening in Southern Africa. There was. That's why there was the Mutapa Empire in Zimbabwe. That Mutapa Empire mined gold, and there was gold being mined in Mapungubwe. That's why there's actually that golden rhino. But they don't tell you that because they want to make it sound like
they discovered
gold. They didn't. They knew of the ancient civilizations. Jan van Riebeeck, when he got here, he actually had the book that talked about Mapungubwe, that talked about the Mutapa Empire and the gold that was there. And they wanted to find it, but Cecil John Rhodes found it first.